Since 1884, the Groupe Beneteau has been continuously innovating and transforming itself to serve sailors worldwide. Our story begins in Saint-Gilles-Croix-de-Vie, a fishing village on the Atlantic coast where Benjamin Beneteau used to create even faster and more practical fishing boats. Carrying on his vision, his granddaughter, Annette Roux, a pioneer of industrialization, committed to making the dream on water accessible to everyone. Today, this dream is guided by our 4 values, true cardinal points of our daily actions. Shared by our 8,000 employees, this passion for the ocean and for the inspiring product we manufacture drives us to go beyond our limits. In the 1970s, we introduced the Beneteau Figaro 1, a major innovation that contributed to the growth of offshore racing. 50 years later, we created the Jeannot Sunfast 30 OD, the first eco-designed boat entirely recyclable, designed to enable the new generation of sailors to reconcile performance and eco-responsibility. Benjamin Beneteau, a pioneer of the motorized sardine boat, gave his fishing clients a decisive advantage and paved the way for 140 years of innovations. From collaborating with renowned designers to launching iconic series like the first, or creating immersive experiences with over 10,000 connected boats, our inventions transform practices for the future of boating. Our ambition is to explore new horizons every day. Opening our first American shipyard in the 1980s, merging with Jeannot, diversifying into leisure housing, financing, and more recently venturing into boat rentals, position us as the only multi-specialist actor covering so many aspects of the world of boating. In 2024, our leadership is driving a wave of sustainable innovations, impacting practices, naval architecture, alternative propulsion, and the choice of materials for our boats. Every facet, from the initial design to the final polish on the gel coat, embodies the unique expertise and values of the first companions. The beauty of the gesture, precision, and love for the material are reflected in every product we craft. Inherited from 4 generations of artisans, this know-how is transmitted to our training centers and shipyards, maintaining the intergenerational connection enriched with shared values that daily nourish the Groupe Beneteau. Bringing dreams to water. Our mission, our collective challenge to continue growing ethically, acting as a crew and preserving our oceans. Since 1884 and for tomorrow, let us unite passion and conviction to build together, employees, clients, partners, our dreams on the water.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning and welcome at our annual press conference here in Cannes to kick in, let's say, the beginning of this show. And let me say that after 2 flourish years for the entire boating business, since 2024 and then in 2025, the Groupe Beneteau is preparing itself for another evolution. As you've seen, we've been evolving ourselves over 140 years. We never accepted that no, we always challenge ourselves, and then we have to continue evolve. We have to continue evolve and adapt for agility for the years to come. So, before entering into the full presentation, I think that we have to be absolutely very loyal to what we just seen in the video. We are here thanks to our 4 cardinal points, our values, the passion, the audacity, the spirit of conquest, and the transmission. Values that are truly embedded into our culture and that will drive the main and the biggest decision that we will have to take in the years to come for the evolution of this market. So, in the keynote of today, what I will focus the first part is around 5 macro trends that we feel, that we measure somehow, that will have an impact over the short and the midterm, and they will have an impact in the main strategic decisions that we will have to take in the years to come. Let's start with the first one. This is quite a a consequence of what's happening this year. This has been a super election year, 2024. We had even election in France that we did not expect, not in Italy, somehow, I don't know. But surely we're waiting the American ones. But the most important things to retain is that every time that there is an election year, that there is an election period, the consumer confidence is somehow in a wait-and-see mode. So whatever happens, whatever the market trend is in that specific country, there is a wait-and-see mood. So what we encounter this year is that the magnitude of the election impact all over Europe has certainly created a slowdown. There's one point which is very positive, that usually, again, except Italy, there are not 2 consecutive election years in a row. So this means that the full moon period will generate anyway a new confidence in the consumer feeling, because they might think that they could be impacted by whatever, the economic growth or interest rates, no? So, and talking about interest rates, I think this is a perfect link to the second and probably one of the most important and trivial challenges that we will have to face in our business as well as in many others. The bad equilibrium condition between the offer and the demand has created a rising inflation. A rising inflation that has created higher interest rates and higher prices all over the world and all over each of the different market segments. What we have to take into account is that we have to live with that, because we saw that the macro political sorry, it would not be Cannes if I would not be sick. The macro political decisions that are taken at the bank levels, they are not slowing the interest rate as we wish. We hope and we might see an impact soon, but it's not as we wish. So what we have to think is that we have to live into this new normal in a more inflated situation. This is driving us 2 main things that we have to drive and we have to manage, and we will see how we are already taking actions into this direction. One is to keep on growing by value and up market. This is what we've been doing in the Let's Go Beyond strategy, create more value and so forth. On the other side, we have to recreate the new standards, the new entry level for a new generation of buyers. The greatest challenge that we face is that we are the only multi-specialist in the market. So we cover 3 specific segments, and in each of these segments, we have to cover somehow both of these strategies. So this will be our real challenge. The third point, it's what we call internally smart boating. So if you think about a smart boat of tomorrow, the owner of whatever boat we can mention, 2 years after the delivery, will have a more updated boat than the day he collected it. As simple as our iPhone or Samsung or whatever we have. This is what is going to happen. This is what the AI, what it's the contribution of the digitalization will create in creating an augmented customer experience, a more connected customer experience. And in order to do that, we need to have 2 enablers. The first one, it is a big data experience, so which means that we need to have a big fleet. And luckily, we are in the right position of having probably one of the biggest fleets of owners floating all around the world. The second point, it's the connectivity. It stands on its own. And more than 2 years ago, you know that we presented here Synapse, which is not just a tool to measure the usability of our boats and then improve our marketing strategy, but it's really the tool that will generate an augmented experience touching several experience points of the customer journey and not just the very beginning. So this is a revolution. It's going to happen, and I think we have the right tools to try to think about it and to try to tackle this new evolution of the market and the market trends. The fourth one, it's sustainability. Let me say that I think in this room, and most probably in this marina, we have to all think about the protection of the environment in which we all live in, which is the ocean or the water, the inland waters, whatever, everything connected to water, it's key for our ecosystem. So we have to keep on innovating. We have to keep on investing in helium raising, alternative propulsion, new solutions that are really driving us to reduce the commitment that we took here publicly last year to reduce by 30% by 2030 our CO2 emission. But this is something that we have to do collectively, so as a community more than as individual brands. This is the strength that I think we will have to look for in the years to come. And let me say that the last point, it's a more of a democratic approach that will probably shape even more the global strategy. Sorry about that. By 2050, 30% of the population will be 65-year-old and older. At the same time, we know that the new generations, so the younger 25, 35s, they want to have a completely different equilibrium between professional and personal life. And last but not least, we have to measure everything which is happening in the real world about the post-inflation. So it's the middle class staying, or is the middle class eroding somehow on the lower side or on the upper side? These are all the critical questions that we have to ask ourselves in order to decide also where the accessibility point of the usability will be. So these are somehow the 5 macro trends that we measured and we wanted to share with you. Because these are the most challenging points that will have to shape our industry. And like in any house, the first thing that you have to do is how do you prepare and how do you adapt for that? Let me say that our obsession is market proximity. We announced many years ago that the revolution or the evolution of the plan Let's Go Beyond was to be more customer-centric. We developed Synapse and so forth, but the real proximity is when you are the multi-specialist and the only multi-specialist in the world, but at the same time you're able to adapt yourself for the business unit of the day boats, for the business of the real estate on the water, and for the business of the sailings. That's why we have really developed individual business units. Individual business unit is an entity, an autonomous entity from the product definition down to the production and the entire P&L that will allow to focus on the tackles of each specific market. So it's a great pleasure for me to introduce here today the 3 players of this league. Yannick Madiot, who is in charge and is the general manager of the day boat. A nice welcome. Michelangelo Casadei, general manager of the real estate on the water. And Clément Émilie, general manager of the sailing business unit. So, 3 general managers with 3 specific tasks, and I will try to cut short. The first one, it's always improving our customer experience and the branding experience. We have our house of brands. We have brands with specific experience that has to be amplified, augmented in each of the deployment of the business unit, and this is going to be vital. This is going to be the essence of our growth by definition. The second, it's somehow how do we split our brain in 2, and we keep on growing on the up-market strategy on one side, so just to make an example, bigger boats for the same range. And on the other side, the right offer. The right offer means what is the new entry level in the market. Is it 80% of the functionality for 80% of the price or whatever? This is exactly the key tackle point that we have to measure. And last but not least, I already talked about it. It's the sustainability and how we have to commit ourselves and commit with our partners and with our colleagues and not competitors, in order to measure, in order to approach it in a common way, because it's a common commitment to make sure to protect the environment. So let me conclude by saying that 2025 is surely not going to be as easy as some of the previous year. But we structure ourselves, we prepared ourselves for this position, for this agility, and the conquer spirit, which has always been one of our values. We did it for 140 years, and we will keep on reshaping ourselves for the most important strategic decisions that we will have to take in the years to come. So it is an honor for me now to let the floor and let the CSO, the Chief Sales Officer of the 3 business units, to present all the novelties and the innovations of these years and the years to come. Thank you very much for your attention. Sam?
Thank you, Jean-Guido. Thank you so much. Let's step into the world of the day boating. For sure, bringing to the water, it's what we're doing every day, powerfully. And just a quick reminder on the day boating, we have in the Beneteau Group 5 brands representing Beneteau, Jeannot, Fourwheels, Wellcraft, and Scarab. It's overall 78 models that we are offering to our customer from 6 to 14 meters. For sure, we know the day boating has been the more impacted by the inflation. And so we're working, and we know that it's through innovation that we will wake up and redynamic the market. We have a clear strategy. We want to consolidate our leading position in Europe, and we have a clear, with Yannick, view. We want to double our market share in North America. And to do that, I'm really glad to present you a boat that is coming, which is a Wellcraft 38 T-top. It's clearly a crossover concept with a multi-role center console. It's really a believable combination of performance, seaworthiness, and entertaining. She will attract the boaters, the young boaters, to be seeking thrill on the water. It has been built on the success we launched with the performance cruiser on Wellcraft on 22, and this T-top series will offer to our customer versatile, robust, and performance-focused experience. Please come on the Wellcraft booth to discover this boat. It's a worldwide first presentation here in Port Canto. Second innovation in the day boating, it's a Mary Fisher 895 Sport Series 2. We start last year to renew the Mary Fisher range with a new 895 Weekender. This time, we have a Mary Fisher Sport. What is it, a Mary Fisher Sport? It's a great interior, but it gives more space to the exterior, as you can see on the picture. It's an adventure boat, for sure. It's a cabin boat with a good protection and easy circulation and easy access to the water, like you can see, with multi-sport and sport family boat. At the end, it's a family boat because we love that in our Jeannot DNA. We want a boat accessible to all generations, so it could be family, friends, young and older people to come on board. So it's really the same. On the Jeannot booth, Port Canto this year, you can discover this boat, this model for the first presentation. Last but not least for the day boating, the innovation is coming for the TH36. In naval architecture and design is the heart of the development program. For the Beneteau Group, boating must be accessible, but not only. Boating must be also sustainable. And the new innovation I'm coming to talk about will prove that we can coexist the both. Last year, we had announced that we were working on a semi-foiling technology for our innovative TH36. I'm happy to tell you that we have completed the engineering and the testing phases. The TH36 shows the potential of foil to transform the customer experience. Just let's watch it.
Le groupe Beneteau a fait un super travail, très efficace. On est content de la réalisation. Ce qui est important, c'est que les foils aient un bon état de surface, ce qui n'est pas forcément toujours facile à faire. Et là, franchement, ils sont très bien. C'était vraiment une volonté que le bateau ne vole pas complètement. L'idée, c'était vraiment d'alléger le bateau, que le bateau vole en skimming, comme on dit.
Les pressions sont très bonnes, le bateau est bien stable en assiette. On sent vraiment qu'il déjauge très progressivement, il va plus vite. Et l'amortissement dans les vagues aussi est très satisfaisant.
Le bateau est très très sain. qu'on n'avait pas dans l'idée de faire un bateau foiler sportif et dangereux. On voulait vraiment un bateau simple, sain. Et donc là, le bateau, on sent bien, il n'y a pas d'instant où il déjauge totalement. C'est vraiment, il se soulève très progressivement, il ne cabre pas inconsidérément. C'est très très agréable à barrer. C'est un bateau facile, c'est la vitesse, facile, sans consommer.
So for sure, as I said in introduction, the TH36 show all the potential to transform the customer experience, making the boat easier to handle, to improve the ride comfort and improve the consumption. For sure, you can, for those who are coming to Grand Pavois to discover and to test this boat during the Grand Pavois beginning of October, or fall on the Atlantic coast, you all can come and see that what we are saying, it's really reality. And this is innovation. It's a less CO2 emission, and thanks to the 25 less consumption. But for sure, come and see trial the boat. It will be a key during the Grand Pavois, and I'm sure we can enjoy all together to see trial this boat. So thank you so much. 3 main innovations for deboating, but I'm pretty sure that Jean-François, you have many things to have and to share with us. Come on stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Real estate on the waters, few figures to start with. 4 different brands, Beneteau with Swift Roller and Gran Turismo, Jeannot with DB, Prestige and Delphia. In total, 25 different boat models from 10 to 24 meters. So what is our ambition here? First, we want to enforce our value strategy for our strong brands. Secondly, we want to expand our offer on the 50 to 80-footer segment. To be able to do that, there is one key of the success is focusing on the customer experience. And it's something that we had totally in mind when we started designing the brand new Swift Roller by Beneteau, the Swift Roller 54. Swift Roller 54, for which we had only one goal, only one objective, is to push beyond, to go beyond the trawler users' expectation by bringing much more comfort to their journey. Comfort with innovation. Innovation providing stable, quiet, more cleaner navigation. So we started by cooperating with Bill Dixon. We did create us this amazing fusion hull, expanding the autonomy and expanding the seakeeping possibilities. What we have done also, for the first time on a Swift Roller, we have integrated electric stabilizer fins. Electric stabilizer fins, so in an immediate stabilization effect, and really less consumption, 50% less than a gyro. Comfort, but also a silent boat option which offer us up to 8 hours of autonomy while anchoring. This is given by 18 solar panels plus a huge bank of lithium batteries. No more noise, no more vibrations while anchoring. Comfort, this new design which redefines the driving experience and the family sharing moment. At the helm, a great visibility, 360 degrees vision, a much more friendly centered helm with a lounge area beside. Comfort, with a safer and easy loading, easy load lazarette, more storage, more living area with a sea terrace cockpit. So what we want to do with this Swift Roller 54 is to enforce our 20 years leadership in this segment. I invite you to discover this boat built around the customer experience tomorrow afternoon on the Beneteau booth here for the official launch. Customer experience is something that we have also in mind. In fact, it's an obsession for Prestige. To push the limit, at Prestige, we have developed the M-Line, the multi-hull range. Harmony. M-Line offers much more comfort, stability, space on board. Today, the range is built around two different models. The M48, which is the best seller of the range worldwide, and the brand flagship, the M8. And you know, connectivity is the key word for the M-Line range. Connectivity from the best terrace to the best pool in the world, the sea. Connectivity with family and friends to share exceptional moments. So let's keep on connecting. Today, I'm very excited that alongside the M48 and the M8, a new model is creating the bridge between these two models, the M7. Connectivity. Imagine yourself spending a lot of time with a family and friend on this awesome cockpit. Best terrace to the best pool. The Prestige M7 is using the code of the brand identity, offering an elegant and refined exterior design, recalling the Prestige Flybridge outlook. This new model will be presented in just 1 year here at Cannes Yachting Festival 25. But before that, at Düsseldorf Boat Show, we'll be very pleased to give you more information and more insight on this boat. With this M7, alongside the M48 and the M8, we keep on accelerating on the development of the M-Line. But I propose to speak now on today, here at the festival. The monohull flybridge segment is where we build the success from the brand from. Today, 1 out of 3 50-footer flybridge sold in the world is a Prestige. 1 out of 3. Last year in Cannes, we launched the first model of this new generation of F-Line, the 4.9. Based on the success of this model, we have decided to accelerate and to introduce this year the new Prestige F5.7. I propose you to discover the boat in video. Welcome to the Prestige 5.7. The second model in the new generation of F-Line represents a significant step up in terms of elegance and refinement. The entire living area is bathed with natural light. This is generating a very elegant atmosphere to offer precious moments at sea in natural luxury. Having the owner cabin, stepping the owner cabin forward is really the signature of this new F-Line, this new generation of F-Line. This is offers extremely quiet owner suite, a VIP suite, and a third owner cabin. High quality on board, it's a prestige. So I propose you to discover the boat with us Thursday morning during the Prestige press conference. So you see through this full boat innovation, Swift Roller 54, M7, Prestige F5.7, how the group want to expand what we provide to the client, to our owner, in terms of user experience. More comfort, more space, new design, and we have decided to accelerate now in the present market. It's now time to share with you information regarding the third pillar of our offer, the third business unit, Sail with Jan Maslow. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone, and very pleased to be with you. So, you know, sailing is part of the DNA of Groupe Beneteau. And we have today in our range, we are the world-leading manufacturer of sailing boats, both with monohull Beneteau and Jeanneau, catamaran Lagoon and XS, offering 38 models from 6 to 24 meters. So, there is, as Jean-Guido mentioned, part of our strategy is, of course, moving up market, bringing more value on the product, but mainly making our boat more accessible, and especially for the new generations coming on the market. So, for 140 years, as we said, Beneteau has always been very innovative in new product creation. Many of our innovations have become industry standards. We want to keep moving like that. And to start with, we're going to introduce you a few important new models that you will see in the next few months coming on the market. So to start with, let's go with a video. If you remember, in 1977, Beneteau launched its first sailing boat. It was the first 30. We've designed, over the years, 4 generations of first 30s, and we've built nearly 3,000 of them. The first 30 is unique in the first iconic range. But today, sailors are less into racing and more into having fun with their friends and also moving into joy of planning. And this is what it's about. So I'm very pleased to introduce the new First 30 for the first time. Very excited. This boat has been redesigned for the future of sailing. It's what we call an all-in-one boat that is accessible to and for everybody. What sailors need today is what we feel is a new sailing category. We call that the planing cruiser. It's a boat that will combine outstanding performance, unparalleled ease of use, and the comfort of a well-equipped cruiser. So how do you build a boat like that? First, you rethink the overall design to increase the speed of the boat. Secondly, you bring innovations to get beginners confident to go planing. That's not easy. And last but not least, when we say accessible, we mean it. We mean it because we have highly engineered this boat to create a boat that will have an amazing accessible price of 100,000 euros. So the first 30 for us is a promise of effortless joy of planning for everyone. That will maintain Beneteau, of course, as a reference in sailing. And we will have the pleasure to present the boat officially for the world premiere at Düsseldorf in January. Now, going from first to XS, the link is easy. Sailing sensations. Let's see what XS is coming up with. XS13, this is new. And for this, we've used a new design team with cabinet Marc Lombard to go a step further, finding the right balance between performance, sensation, and comfort. We're also using a new interior designer, Jean-Marc Piaton, who's bringing another step of modernity and efficiency design. If I had to define this XS13 in a few words, I would say, first, it's the less is more philosophy. Through the design is giving a lighter boat that will guarantee great sailing sensations. And as Cabinet Lombard said, this project is simple, yet extremely ambitious. Also, the sea as a playground. As you could see on the video, we have opening aft platform that will facilitate the access to the sea. And I think that this product is also the perfect definition of the DNA of XS today, to be discovered in early 2025, very soon. But now, let's talk about Lagoon. Lagoon has always been very innovating on catamaran, that you know. And this year, Lagoon is bringing the Lagoon 43. This is an enjoyable catamaran with, you will see, an amazing opening on the aft platform for a very large entertaining area. This is also a generous catamaran, a new hull design that brings even more volume inside. It's unprecedented on this size. And also, we call it an adaptable catamaran because you can choose to use your space inside, outside, the way you want. And it's bringing even more space for entertaining as your desire will detect between inside and outside. So I invite you to discover this boat that is for a world premiere here in Cannes on the Lagoon stand. And as well, you will see the Lagoon 60 that is also presenting in a boat show for the first time, but many of you have already seen it in Bordeaux. And next also, you know, part of our strategy, as Gianguido mentioned, is moving up market through value. Well, if you remember, in 2017, Lagoon made a big step launching the Lagoon 77. It was the first very large catamaran. It's been a success, and we are very pleased to announce the Lagoon 82. This yacht is a voyage for your emotion. It will bring to another level the sense of well-being, comfort, and pleasure to be on the water. Please, if you want more details, attend Lagoon press conference. It's today at 5 p.m. on the Lagoon stand, where the Lagoon team will give you a lot of details on this beautiful project. And since you're here, let me share with you the last Lagoon secret. Quick video. Lagoon 38. Not easy to replace the iconic Lagoon 380. 19 years of career with this boat. So, Gianguido mentioned also, we want to keep boating accessible. This Lagoon 380 is the ultimate entry-level catamaran on the market that is designed both for entry-level people, beginners, and also for experienced sailors. Also designed for private use and charter use. So a lot of innovation into this boat that you will see from March 25. And because we want to aspire and keep boating accessible, as we mentioned earlier, we also want to have boating more sustainable. So I'm very pleased to welcome on stage Damien Jacome, who will reveal to you our new innovation boat concept. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. Those are great products that you've been presenting there. So last year in this press conference, we were announcing our commitment for 2030 to reduce by 30% our CO2 emission. But this massive step forward can only be done if we rethink completely the way we are designing boats. So let's take an example together. Summer cruising in the Med. Data are showing that in some areas, boats are rather used as an entertainment platform by people who do not have a deep boating culture. They just want to enjoy a good time on the water with their friends and family. So, creating memorable experience for non-experts on a sustainable platform pushes us to question the basics. Let's start with, is the wind the only renewable energy? Does a powerboat always have to reach speeds in excess of 15 or 20 knots? Or we could also question the eternal fight, monohull versus multi-hulls. Does it really matter for newcomers into boating? So having all those questions in mind, we started a fun exercise, a bit of forward thinking. What will be the boat of tomorrow? And I'm happy to share with you the outcome of this reflection with the cruising concept from Beneteau.
Launched in 2020, Synapse is Groupe Beneteau's connected solution. It is now deployed on an industrial scale. Any boat that leaves one of our factories is equipped with Synapse sensors. Today, we are able to analyze in detail what people really do when they go boating during their summer holidays. In the Mediterranean, there are over 1,000 connected boats that sail 22 weeks a year. With an average of 8 people on board, we've collected the boat usage data of 180,000 people every year in this region of the world. Did you know that they spend 80% of their time at anchor? They cover an average of 18 nautical miles a day, 80% of which is with engine power at an average speed of 6.5 knots. This real-time connection is a fantastic playground. With all this data, we are able to better understand today's user experience and anticipate the one of tomorrow. What boaters really want today is to live outside and enjoy the scenery. They also want comfort, space, and silence. They want to get together and simply share the best of times. They want to go boating without constraint and in complete safety. They want to disconnect and forget it all. They want to make the most of every moment on the water. And above all, they want to do all this in an eco-conscious manner by making the most of renewable energies to limit their impact on the environment. We did not leave this new concept in a box. We actually did it, and we are currently testing it in real conditions. Because we're committed to inventing tomorrow's boating. More relevant, simpler, and more sustainable.
Thank you. What I really like about this concept is that it doesn't focus only on one area of the boat to be improved. It merges 3 different items: user experience, technology, and sustainability. So just for a moment, imagine yourself on a bright sunny day like today, cruising from one island to the other in complete silence thanks to the electric propulsion. You're enjoying a good time with your friends on the spacious deck, while the solar panels are generating 50% of the energy requirement. Yes, 50%, this is massive. It basically means that you cut by half your fuel consumption. So this boat is not only in line with our target for 2030, it's actually ahead of the target. And I'm happy to tell you that you will be able also to experience this new type of boating. We'll come back to you in the months to come to invite you to join us on the boat and test the boat in real condition. I will now let Bruno conclude this press conference.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Damien, for sharing with us this bright vision of tomorrow's boating. Let's resume. Value-driven growth, sustainable innovation, digital and sharing economy, these are the three pillars of the Groupe Beneteau strategy that we already shared with you during the previous boat shows. Jean-Guido talked about inflation, about interest rate during the introduction. Did inflation change the boating market? Yes, clearly. Does it change our strategy? Certainly not. It pushes us to accelerate it. It challenges our time to market on every development, on every innovation, on every segment, on every boating solution in general. So are we accelerating? How are we accelerating? Let's resume the first pillar, value-driven growth. The main strength of the Groupe Beneteau during the last 140 years has always to adapt to every market changes. This is when the market is slowing down, that launching new models, launching the right new models, is key to get stronger out of it. 5 new catamarans in 1 year. This is the perfect time to market. A new flybridge for Prestige, while continuing to develop the M-Line. A new setup for Wellcraft, while continuing to renew for Winds. A new iconic first 30 for Beneteau, while launching a 50-feet trawler. This is just an extract of what you will discover during the next boat shows. But this is the mission of a multi-specialist. And it's not an easy one. To launch the right value proposition at the right moment for each customer from 6 to 24 meters. And this is why it was crucial to adapt to focus our organization by type of navigation, day boating, sailing, real estate, in order to continue to raise the customer expectation. Sustainable innovation, last year we claimed our ambition to reduce by 30% our CO2 emission intensity by 2030. We are on track with it. But it will work only if our sustainable innovation roadmap goes in parallel of a customer experience improvement plan. This is exactly about the island cruising concept presented by Damien, which starts by looking at boating as an ecosystem, factualizing the exact navigation conditions, and defining an ambition in terms of customer experience improvement, in terms of sustainability. You've seen the results. More space, less noise, less consumption. More space, less noise, less consumption. We'll proceed the same with recyclable resins. Last year we were showing the offshore racing proposal with the Sunfast 30 OD. Now we intend to make it a standard for the entire boating industry, the laser boating industry. And of course, we start by very premium, such as the Oceanis Yacht 60, and progressively becoming an affordable solution for the rest of the range, exactly as we did during the last 15 years with FTS resins. Another way to reduce emission in a competitive way is to reuse. Reuse means embedding all new technologies in an existing hull. This is exactly about the Lagoon 620 Neo project that I invite you to go to the Lagoon press conference when the team will present it to you. Here again, on sustainable innovation, we say what we do what we say. Digital and sharing economy. The new technologies, the new generation will continue to transform the boating habits. We took the digital turn 3 years ago with Synapse, and today it's a 10,000 boat fleet, the largest connected fleet in the world, as it has been said. This is not only a fantastic database for the marketing team, This is the first pillar of a smarter boating approach, with more connectivity, with more coordination between the functions inside the boat and outside the boat. Sharing economy, last year we announced that we would develop with the boat. Today it's live and operating in 30 bays of navigation. Charter, we are part of Dream Yacht Navigare. Dream Yacht and Navigare are part of this house of brands. Le boat selected Delphia to renew his charter fleet and expand it into US. Again, being part of this ecosystem is extremely reinforcing our customer centricity and our understanding of final customer expectations. So to conclude this press conference, I think you understood our priorities for the season to come. The first one is to adapt and even get stronger out of the current market, let's say, uncertainty. The second is to accelerate our product development roadmap, again, in a very customer-centric way. The third is to innovate, to permanently bring new solutions to the water for the next generations. I still don't know what is a normal year in boating after 5 years joining Beneteau. But what I'm sure is that the group is extremely well positioned on each of these priorities. I thank you for your attention. I wish you an excellent Cannes Boat Show and propose to go for a Q&A session after this large presentation together with Jean Guido. Thank you.
Don't forget all the press conference that we have for each of the brands. Our house of brands has plenty of information to further give you and to show the real boats on the water, so we're very pleased for that. Ready for some Q&A?
To start.
Yeah. Can we have a microphone, please, Barbara? Okay.
Good morning. If I understand properly, you don't have any more brand director.
Or we have still brand directors, but embedded into the business unit. What does it mean? It means that what we feel is that there is indeed a global coordination between Beneteau and Jeannot, which are the only brands that are splitted between different business units. But in reality, the brand directors are within the business unit. The catamarans are on the sailboats, and they stay in the sailboats. They don't change their ecosystem. What we have decided is to further give strength to the sail and power in order to give a dedicated person for Beneteau and for Jeannot in order to focus on further developing and accelerating the development of that. The complexity of managing, and I would say I'm well positioned to know that because I did it. Managing a brand like Beneteau, it's like managing, trying to train 5 elephants and 3 lions in the same cage, because it's day boat, real estate, and sailboats, and the dynamics, the type of distribution, the go-to-market approach, they are different. The market proximity that we look for, the adaptability that we look for, it's exactly why we deployed that. So yes, indeed, we have them, but they are simply positioned just next or after the CSO, which are the global coordinator of the business unit, because it's a global P&L.
So second part of my question, did you know yet the new brand director for Winds and Wellcraft?
For sure. I mean, no, but for the day, for example, this is a very good. It's a very good question because it's a very good example. In the organization that we did, we spent hundreds of hours about the organization. I mean, talking about business units, it's 30-second slides, and it's like giving birth. It's 9 months of work before. Let's say that in the adaptation of the business unit specificities, with Sam and Yannick, they've decided to split between US and Europe. So you will have a reference for Europe and you will have a reference for US. Why? Because the specificity of the day boat is a volume-driven market. So the proximity that you're looking for and the type of use that you have in Europe and the type of use that you have in US, it's completely different, still within the same brand. That's why we have a reference guy in Europe and a reference guy in US. I hope I... But it's Yannick. Yannick Aimé is in charge of Wildcraft, and for Four Wings, we work with Jean-Philippe Brun. But for Europe, sorry.
Question about new motorization, development of hybrid and electric engine for your boat range. Is the development of these new motorizations the opportunity for the group to develop its own solution by integrating different components from motorists? Or do you aim to work with motorists like today by just subcontracting these developments? Because some yards are developing their own solution.
It will be a mix of both.
Yeah,
I mean, CO2 emission trajectory is not one direction. First, there is one answer by size of boats, by sailing, power, and so on and so forth. So it will depend on the case, and it will depend on the willingness of the engine maker to go in one direction or not. So there is not one solution, but yes, for sure, it will give us a stronger system expertise need to master this evolution, this ecosystem evolution. So there is no one answer. There is one by type of segment and by type of solution for each segment. On the island cruising concept is a mix.
Yeah, I think that we have to think not as an engine, but as what we call the power unit. The power unit will be what we will develop or co-develop. Again, you will go into the next press conference or in 2 hours, whatever, Azimut with Volvo and so forth. Same as Helium with us. You see that we started with the premium range in order to try, test the technology, being able to pay that off where the market is ready to pay for that, and then deploy. So indeed, we are working with our classic suppliers, but we are also creating our base know-how in our test center, because it's mandatory to be aware of what we are doing and not just become an integrator. This is what we've been doing. The point is that we are not here to launch what we have in Saint-Gilles, that if someone passed by, you can see what we've already done for some of that technology, because we want to stabilize the technology. Innovation, it's a complex exercise, especially when we talk about engine management and engine and power management within the entire ecosystem. We saw that the boat that Damien presented, it's a bit disruptive. I was just looking at your face, expecting how is that a charter boat for the island and so forth. That it's already allowing us to lower our consumption by 50% because the design is adapted for solar panel and so forth. So that's why we have to think about the holistic approach and not just the engine as a component to put on the back of the boat.
And it's not only propulsion. It's energy management on board, including the propulsion, including the real estate, the hotel mode management. And depending on the size, depending on the usage, depending on the number of people on board, depending on the type of utilization, the energy needed is not the same, and the way to handle it is more a systemic approach than just propulsion, which was the historical way of looking at the engine.
And the smart boating will be a key driver for that.
They understood, I think.
No, but we just added the last wording.
Thank you.
Yeah, just a quick question on the last concept, the Iceland concept. It will be integrated in an existing brand, or it will be a new brand?
It's not neither one or the other. Let's say that our first commitment, that's why it's disruptive, we took a super rational approach to analyze the data, to analyze what we say it's in the sustainable development, there is always what we call the side walk. The side walk is not, we don't move forward introducing a new range, introducing a new model, but we first analyze how the market behavior could evolve. Because, for example, what is one of the biggest breaks that Damien explained is that people don't go sailing because they don't know how to sail. So the test that we did voluntarily was that if we remove the sails from a sailing experience, which becomes a cruising experience, will that be a break or not? And we are still testing. That's why we are using these boats in charter companies. They are rentable, they are usable, and we have a massive focus groups behind it in order to abstract the information that we need. Evidently, we are thinking about what will be the boats of tomorrow, so where we will integrate it. But we are not in the rush. The rush that we saw, the time to market that we talked about, the acceleration that we talked about, is what you will see in our core business. So what will come in 1 year from now for Oceanis, what will come in 1 year from now for GT, what will come in 1 year from now for the new Cap Camara or whatever. This is the focus of the short term. This strategic pillar, it is really a strategic pillar, so we are not in a rush to put a sticker on it and say this is the new range. You will see that, for example, in Düsseldorf, because we are not satisfied about the number of information that we are collecting, because the summer season was too low. We are doing a Caribbean season, and then, because we have 2 prototypes, and then we will also test in reality in Düsseldorf what is the impact of the massive population that goes on the whole of the charter, and how do they interact with that type of products. Because, again, it's a complete uncharted world. What I call it is like when the Prius came out with the Toyota, which was a disruptive product compared to everything was that before. And they started by systemic approach of what is innovation and how the usability can be adopted by the new cameras. So for sure, one day we will see something, but it's not that boat that will go to the market. It's just a concept as explained by Damien.
It's more than a concept boat compared to the automotive, because it's used. But the usage is part of the concept testing, and then we'll go to a second step after the real testing.
And just for one case, the complexity that we are discovering in the sustainable transformation is indeed that there is not, unfortunately, one solution. That's why I said that we have to play with all our partners and competitors somehow, because there will be different solutions to answer and tackle the roadmap of minus 30% by 2030, which is not just ours. It has to be everybody's roadmap. Sorry, there was another question?
Olivier from Skipper's Magazine. You were presenting connecting boats and the fact that you're gathering data about user habits. What are the benefits for the customer? Is there any apps about weather forecast, knowing that there is more often extreme weather and so on to prevent boats around?
Let's start by what we can embed into that at the very, very beginning. It's predictive maintenance. So in reality, not all the customers knows that after 100 hours of use of their generator, they have to change the anode that is connected to that. Some of that make explode the generator before they even know that. The advantage of having an app is that first and foremost for the users, it allows them to anticipate what we call the problems of the life of a usability, So that's the first thing. And then surely, as I said, there will be alternative go-to-market approach that will develop new solutions that can be embedded into the platform. But for the time being, we are more working on the predictive maintenance structure, because this is, we deliver boats that needs to be followed and served by our customers and by our dealers. And so we create that link that it's then have plugs in that can be deployed and further deployed for the future.
The generation 1 is live. We'll talk later about the generation 2 and 3.
Yes?
Eugenio Wocco, Il Giornale della Vela. Can you tell us a bit more about the new First 30?
It's a genius boat. No, I think that Jan synthesized that very well. Beneteau has been, let's put it this way, accessible avant-garde in boating. So in a period where we are suffering the post-inflation crisis, but still people are willing to go sailing to enjoy the effortless surfing approach, because everyone loves to refine the skimming sensation of going like in a laser, but in a bigger boat because we are older and we have families. This is exactly the starting point where we have said we need to find something which is advanced but yet acceptable. And this is our post-inflation answer in order to regain the confidence of the population of sailors that are really willing to go for that. Then Düsseldorf is next door, so the team of First is in the Beneteau sail booth with Andras and so forth, so I think that you can go straight to them and talk to them.
But to resume the promise, even me could skin with it. I mean, that's Jan's promise.
One last question? If there is one last question. Otherwise, I think that most of you are running around for the next roundup. It's the Majestic at 10 o'clock. Don't forget about it. I know the agenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Have a good show.
Thank you very much.